evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Thursday night. Got a new overlay as well as some new things happening here this evening. We are going road racing for the first time here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. Silverstone, as you see there on that bridge right there. A little bit of UK racing for a Formula Renault 2.0 league with the Precision Racing League. Drivers are set to go qualifying. They're going to put down their best times to see where they will start on the grid here tonight. Got a total of around 17 to 18 drivers on the field. And we'll have to see how this will play out as they begin their qualifications. We are going to move now to the playing of the Star Spangled Banner when we come back. We'll talk a little bit about we'll be joined with the Race League Administrator, Jerome. He'll be joining us to provide some information on this league, folks. So we are going to move to that. We'll be back in just a few. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Thursday night as drivers are trying to put down their best times on the track right now here at Silverstone, nestled in the UK. Through the Silverstone and Whittleberry villages, we find this track here tonight. And joining me in the booth, we have Jerome Berchum, who will be talking a little bit about Precision Racing League and this Intermediate Championship Series debuting here tonight. Jerome, appreciate you joining us in the booth. Tell us, what can we expect from these Formula Renault 2.0 cars?
This is our third championship, so we expect a lot this season because this is our second season with the Formula Renault. So we expect some close fight for the title of the championship.
And talking about some of the drivers, I mean, we take a look out at the qualifying session right now. Looks like Brad Yeager is one of the fastest drivers out there. Donald Strout not too far, just about 0.7 of a second off that 144 pace. Tell us, any from your first season that you had, any all-stars that come out to name, or some of the faster guys that we could look out for, some of the viewers who may be watching this for the first time can keep an eye out for tonight?
Hard to say. So it's sure that Eric Jager is here since the first season, and he almost won the first season, and he is super fast. And his brother too, Brad Jager. There's a new guy, Donald Strout. We can see it on the top now. He seemed super fast too. And we also have John Labaff. So John Labaff is a champion for the Oval Series that we have at Precision Racing League and the Base Championship. So John Labaff is one of our most most available champion at PRL. So it's sure that this guy, we'll have to watch this guy.
Any notable points here at Silverstone that you would be, as a driver yourself, would be watching out for? What particular turn looks like it's going to prove to be a challenge for these drivers tonight?
The track is super cool tonight, so I think the second sector have to be perfect. So and the first sector, it's important to have a good balance between low downforce and high downforce because you want some corner speed and you have some good straight. So it's important on the setup to have a good balance.
All right, well, we look forward to having a great race here tonight, not too far away from the start of the race here at Silverstone. Appreciate you joining me in the booth, Jerome. Best of luck to you out there. I know you're going to be out there racing. Currently sitting 9th in qualifying, so good luck to you, and hopefully you have a great race.
Thank you.
All right, folks, well, there you have it. So Jerome Berchum joining me in the booth tonight. He is going to be out there as we see the qualifying session still underway. These drivers trying to put down their fastest time. And as it looks like, going to try to come back to this. And this is a new, you have to bear with me this evening, folks. We do have a new overlay. This is a Formula One themed overlay by the ATVO guys. Recently released not too long ago. A lot of good work done out there. A good substitute for the current theme that we have, an oval theme. So with the road races, decided to go with a new theme. So we're checking this out. So we may have a little bit of hiccups here tonight, but other than that, should be looking pretty solid. Just about finished with qualifying. As we're going to try to get the updated list to you here. As we bring the qualifying screen back out, there is the updated qualifying screen. So Donald Strout currently has that fast lap time of 1 minute, 44 seconds, .357. And look at Brad Yeager's time just behind him, 9/100ths of a second off that pace. These guys look like they have dialed their vehicles in tonight. And these Formula Renault 2.0 cars are solid, just about a few classes under the F1 league. And they're going to put down some times as we will pull away the screen here. Let's show you a little bit of speedometer action here as we're following one of the drivers through qualifying here. We'll show you, this is Donald Strout, fast lap time. So he's actually making his way down into the pits. Go back to John Unsby here and follow him through the track. But you could just see the gear switching, revving it up into third. He comes around the turn into fourth. Up over 100 miles an hour. He comes down through. And as you can see, into sixth gear. about 133 miles before he has to slow it down and bring it into the turn. We've been throwing a little bit of track sound for you there. So you can see the different gearing ratios these guys are ripping through to get through this track. As he makes it around the last few turns here of the lap. Coming into the final club turn around the pits. Into that Abbey first turn, but he will slow down and get a qualifying time therein. So it looks like pretty much everybody has put down a qualifying time. This should be the final results here, folks. Donald Strout with the fast time, followed by Brad Yeager, Eric Yeager. Jerome Bertum made it up into fourth. John Unsby, Remo Ambrosi, John LaBaff, J.P. Foster, Mike North. Chris Perez rounding out your top 10 tonight. Sergio Bustamante, Scott Corbin, Karsten Quint, Danny Duchesne, Ronald McManus, Rolf Just, and Joseph Homan will round out the field. So a total of 17 drivers, folks, is what we got here this evening. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network to catch this action. As you can see, we got about 15 seconds remaining in the qualifying session before we make our way to the grid. Drivers will be making their way out of the pits here onto the grid. So there they are. They start their way out. And following them out there is trying to find them on the field, folks. Again, a little bit of quirks to work out here in this new overlay software, but we are looking to get our way out there to the grid. You can hear the drivers ready to roll. So they begin rolling off.
Green, green, green.
There's the green flag. And I don't have any drivers per se yet here, so do apologize. As they begin taking off. My cameras do not want to work with me tonight. There we go. So we begin following them through the track. Here we go. Got the gap up on the screen. So Brad Yeager up to the front. Making his way through the curves here. You're going to see currently with a nice lead up front. Eric Yeager right behind him, not too far back. Behind Eric Yeager is Jerome Bertum. As they work their way through a little bit of chicane work into a straightaway. Working their way around this track, folks, as they go through, and a little bit of spin out from Bertram. That's going to bring out John Unsby, the number 61 car, the yellow car you see there, working his way up towards Burchome to battle for fourth. Yeager through the turn. Whoa. Barely use that rumble strip. Into the long straightaway they go. That is the hanger straight into a speed trap. To the 15th turn, the Stowe turn, they're going to be going through here. Before they come up to turn number 16, known as the Vale. Down towards that turn. There they go through. This is following the leader, Brad Yeager. And into the turn he goes. Taking a look back at position number 7, J.P. Foster. Nice little battle there. J.P. Foster now currently battling Remo Ambruzzi. Towards that Abbey turn as they make it through towards the front straight into the first turn, the Abbey turn. They make their way through turn number 2, the farm curve as they call it, into a nice little chicane known as the Village, turn number 3. Oh, and a spin out and a crash. Oh, wow. Got a car upside down right around the Aintree. We look back through. Somebody had to go right down to pit road. It looked like it might have been Duchesne, I'm not sure, as Ambruzzi was right in that action. Nice little side-by-side battle here with Karsten Quint and Chris Perez. Chris Perez in the white number 41 car as they begin working their back half part of the track. LaBeouf currently sitting in 13th position as he works his way through the Beckett's. Back up to the race lead as we see Brad Yeager now through the Abbey turn. Or passing the pits going into that first turn has Eric Yeager behind him. The 18 and the 88 work their way through the farm curve. Down towards that Village chicane through the loop. And they'll be working their way up into turn number 5, the Aintree. Down through the Wellington Straight goes your race leader, followed by the second position driver. These guys working hard together tonight. Did not receive information if they were brothers or not. They'll be coming up into the Brooklands turn 6 chicane. Loop it around turn 7 through the Luth Field. Now making their way, turn number 8 to the Woodcote. Back down towards turn number 9 they go. Turn number 9, Copes. Nice little turn there. Back in third position, we have Donald Strout. Just a little bit wide there on the turn over the rumble strip. Coming back through pits towards the first turn again. So, total of 27 laps tonight here at Silverstone in this opener race. Take a little look at your gap time there. As Brad Yeager and Eric Yeager currently up in first position. Going to be one of the tougher drivers to beat tonight. JP Foster back in sixth position. Sergio Bustamante holding on to ninth position. Taking a look at Brad Yeager up front. Let's kick it over to the speedometer and just see how this guy is working through the track. There's about 127 before he slows up for the turn. Going to dial it into fourth gear and take a look at that quick shift. Down to second gear, has to get down to 65 miles an hour. Rockets up to about 85 before he slows it down as he works his way through that turn. Up into fifth as he comes out of the final 18th turn, the club turn here into the front stretch. Passing the pits down towards the Abbey turn. Hitting seventh gear up around 130 before he slows into that first turn. Into the farm curve he goes. Comes down to that village chicane. Now he works his way through that loop, as they so call it. Big 151 in seventh gear for Brad Yeager, before he has to slow it up and bring it around. So a nice little battle here. Looks like there was some issues with Eric Yeager spinning out, going from second down to fifth position. Donald Strout now makes his way up into second position. Just about 3.6 seconds behind your race leader. The number 8 car through the turn. Bertum makes his way up into third position. The 17 cars, you see him working through. Into the final turn down the front stretch. Club turn, down towards the pits they go. And you can really hear these cars rip through these gears to get down to the speeds to make a successful track in, hitting that apex, and a track out through the chicane comes Berchom. John Unsby now. Fastest lap time here tonight, 1 minute 45 seconds, .111. Last lap was a 1:46.574. Nice little battle here with Eric Yeager and John Unsby. Yeager, that 88 car, the white and blue with the red rims coming through, will look to pass. Oh, he has to lock up the brakes. Eric Yeager tried the inside pass on Unsby, was not able to get it, and the battle for fourth still continues as these guys come out of the turn. Keep an eye on this car, setting up for the inside pass. Will not have it. Down through the chicane they go. Unsby a little bit into the grass. That's going to open it up, and here comes Eric Yeager. Beautiful inside pass through the turn, but Unsby is not going away. He'll make an outside pass through the turn. Down and around they go. And Eric Yeager once again back to fourth position. Into the club turn he goes through the front stretch. Now begins to pull away from Unsby into the Abbey turn. Through the farm curve he will go. One of the faster drivers here tonight. Taking a look up, I'm guessing these guys are brothers. I'll have to get a correction on it, but for now we'll go with that. Brad Yeager. Rocketing down the straightaway. Comes down to a nice little chicane turn. Back behind him, Donald Stroud working his way through the turn into the straightaway. Will rocket it around. A little bit of loop action before he makes it to the final 18th turn here, the club turn. Moving on back, let's jump back to 11th position with Karsten Quint. So he's working his way around the track, just around the Stowe turn, through the Vale, and he'll work his way through the club turn on lap number 8. Running that Deadpool machine, really nice looking paint scheme down there on that 55 car. As he comes down the front stretch, we got somebody heading down pit road. Looks like JP Foster was going down pit road. The number 6 car will fall back as he gets some fuel. Foster now making his way off of pit road. Brad Yeager still fast driver here tonight, has a almost 4-second lead over the number 8 of Donald Stroud, as Stroud makes his way through the chicane into the straightaway. Down around the Stowe turn into the Vale he goes. Turns 17 coming up for the number 8 car as Brad Yeager around into the club turn he's going to go. Ready to hit lap number 10. Again, folks, it's a time. Lap or time is what these guys up against. This will be lap number 10 as Brad Yeager through the Abbey turn now works his way around. Still holding on to a 4-second lead over Donald Stout. So these guys got 17 laps to go, or 33 3/4 minute. Let's jump back and take a look at some of the other action going on. Here is Danny Duchesne. The number 99 car currently sitting in 7th position. Has John LaBaff behind him, putting a little pressure on him. As these drivers are making their way through the turn. Down through that hanger straight they go. About to make their way into the Stowe turn. Around the Stowe turn they go, down towards the Vale. And the 99 of Duchesne holding on. Another driver making his way through the Vale. That is John Unsby. Around towards that club turn goes the 61 car. Sergio Bustamante tonight looked really promising up front in qualifying. Currently sitting back in 14th position, right behind Remo Ambrosi. Ambrosi now working his way through the chicane. Will come around towards that Vale turn. This is a tough turn tonight. We've seen a lot of drivers locking up their brakes as they have to slow up. Ambrosi now looking to get up towards Yvonne Drolet. As they make their way past the 17th turn into turn 18, the club turn they go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see if Ambrosi can battle it out for 12th position down the front stretch. Will he have enough to get around Drolet? Not before the Abbey turn, but he's going to go to the inside. It's a good side-by-side battle for 12th position. Remo and Ambrosi to the chicane. Will get around Drolet, and he will move to 12th position. Next up for him is this guy right here, the 41 of Chris Perez. As they work their way down the Wellington Straight towards turn number 8, known as the Brooklands. JP Foster tonight back in your top 10. Foster through the Vale turn into turn number 17, right behind Karsten Quint. Wanting to put some pressure on the 55. Here he goes towards that club turn. And now down pit road comes Danny Duchesne. To get some fuel, he makes his way down pit road. Jerome Bertram is your race leader. As Brad Yeager has gone down to get some fuel. A splash and go stop for the 18 car tonight. So Eric Yeager, that 88 car, now into second position. Saw a good battle with Unsby earlier, sitting pretty solid, just about 2 seconds behind your leader, Bertram. And they come down pit road. So both Jerome and Eric Yeager make their way down pit road. Take a little bit of fuel, possible tires. So there is your race leader once again, ladies and gentlemen, coming down towards that Abbey turn. Brad Yeager takes back the race lead here on lap number 13. Little close to the halfway point. Updated position chart on your left. So Jerome Burchome comes out just ahead of Eric Yeager. Yeager wasn't too far behind him. He's currently sitting about 9/10 of a second now behind the 17. Donald Strout back there in 4th position, works his way down through the chicane. John Unsby falls back to 6th position as he works his way through the straightaway. Slowing it up as he works his way through the chicane. That tight little chicane you see the drivers going through, that is turn number 12, known as the Beckett's, as we follow Danny right here through the Beckett's. Gets through there, down past the chapel he goes. Back to your race leader, the 18 of Brad Yeager now has a 10, almost 11 second lead over what we're calling brother Eric Yeager, the 88 car, who's now got his way around Jerome Burchome. Burchome in the 17 car falls just about half a second behind. As they make their way up through the Vale. Into that tight corner they go through, making their way towards turn number 17. They'll be coming around towards that club turn. See the usage that Eric Yeager uses past the rumble strip. Down the front straightaway towards that Abbey turn they go. And Burchome now falls back 0.2 of a second further behind Eric Yeager. 4th position driver as you see him coming out of the club turn into the straightaway. Here comes JP Foster into the Abbey turn, into lap number 15. And whoa, does he swing it wide through that turn into that rumble strip. Into the Wellington straight, down towards the Brooklyn's corner. We'll bring it around turn number 17. Or 7, excuse me. John Unsby, been a top 5 driver all night, currently about 2 seconds behind JP Foster as they work their way through. Cope corner now into a tight corner through the Beckett's. Going towards Chapel. Brad Yeager. Turn 17 towards that club turn. Ready to hit lap number 16 this time around. It is easy street here for the 18. 9 seconds, 9.8 seconds lead over the rest of the field. Through that Abbey turn and now through the farm curves he goes. Hitting up the loop here. Swings it through without any problems. Through that Wellington straight into turn number 7 he goes. 22 and just under 3/4 minutes remaining in this race, folks. So far, here's what your results look like. Brad Yeager currently leading. Shows winner. He's in the winning position. Following Mike North back in 6th position now as he's looking to hunt down the 61 of Unsby. Chris Perez into that straightaway, and take a look at the battle between Remo Ambrosi and John LaBaff. LaBaff, the 911 car, back behind the 63 of Ambrosi. And from what we've seen here tonight, folks, currently sitting in 8th position, Remo Ambrosi is a guy you don't want to battle in the turns. He is very aggressive as they make their way now into the Vale turn. LaBaff was trying to put some pressure in the straightaway to Ambrosi, and now through the turn, here we go. Towards that club turn they go, making their way towards lap number 17. Into that straightaway. Through the Abbey turn, Ambrosi picks up some time. Has about a half a second gap between him and LaBaff. Through turn number 5 they go before the Wellington Straight. Down towards the Brooklands corner they go. And they'll get pinched up in the chicane there, and it looks like Ambrosi now looks to hunt down Perez, that 41 machine up front here in 7th position. Danny Duchesne has a nice little gap behind LaBaff and between him and the 55 of Karsten Quint. Little Beckett's action before the chapel. Around they go. Towards that Vale corner. And Duchesne now sees Quint in his rear view mirror. Karsten Quint looks to put the pressure on Duchesne, that 99 car, as they make their way towards the club turn. Karsten Quinn is gaining time, just 0.7 of a second off of the 41 of Perez. And Duchesne into the Abbey turn. Foster coming out of the pits. They'll make their way down towards the loop. And some gaps setting up there. Back up front, Brad Yeager. Through the chapel goes Eric Yeager, but Brad Yeager now makes his way through that Vale turn into turn number 17, looking for lap number 19 when it's all said and done. Down the front stretch, passing the pits, into lap 19 goes the 18 of Brad Yeager. Been a force to reckon with here tonight, folks. He has come to race. Eric Yeager making his way towards the loop. Just about 9 seconds behind Brad. Jerome Burchome now through the loop. Looks to be about 3.8 seconds behind Eric Yeager. Getting down to the wire now, folks, as we take a look at the remaining time. Up there in your top left, 17 minutes remaining. And about 8 laps, 7.5 for Brad Yeager. Nice little battle between Carson Quinn and Sergio Bustamante. Carson Quinn, that 55 car, trying to hold on to 8th position. Remo Ambrosi now down in pit road. We'll take some fuel and some tires. Making his way back out to the track. Bustamante was putting some pressure on Quinn up towards the Abbey turn, but this guy is on the move, folks, up to 8th position. JP Foster is your 7th position guy. Carson Quinn just about 2.7 seconds behind him. Quinn now through the turn. Through Cope's corner, he's going to make his way down towards Maggott's corner, then into the Beckett's. Here is that nice chicane corner as these guys go through the Beckett's. Bustamante not too far back behind him. And finally, Rolf Just making his way down pit road for his final pit stop of the night. As we see Brad Yeager now in lap number 20. Makes his way to Cope's corner. Has an 8.2 second lead over this guy right here, Eric Yeager. John Unsby back in 4th position. As Mike North rounding out your top 5. Total of pit stops these guys have made now down at the bottom part of your screen. Most guys only taking 1 pit stop in this 27-lap event. Here goes Brad Yeager into lap number 21 through that Abbey turn. Towards the farm corners he goes. Down towards the loop. Eric Yeager through the farm corners he goes. Chris Perez back in 12th position, looks to catch Remo Ambrosi. A little bit pushed. He pushed a little bit coming out of that turn. Down through the Beckett's they go. Towards that Chapel corner. Perez, 1.5 seconds and closing on the 63 of Ambrosi. Down towards that Vale turn they go. Oh, and Ambrosi's going to spin out right before turn 17. So Chris Perez with a good string of luck here. The 41 car makes his way into the club turn. Looking towards lap number 21. Will take over 11th position. Ambrosi now makes his way to that club turn. Tires getting a little bit worn there. Very aggressive through that Vale corner tonight, folks. And unfortunately, the Vale scooped up that 63 car and got him spun around. Carson Quinn now making his way out of pit road onto the track. currently sitting in 11th position. Ambrosi was able to get around as JP Foster came out of pit road just ahead of Quinn. Quinn had to stop and get a splash and go. So what looked like a dire moment here for the 63 car has actually been a blessing in disguise, as Remo Ambrosi now picks up 9th position. Perez goes to 8th. Donald Strout, one of the guys you've seen up front in the top 5 all night, currently out of it in 7th position. So he's making his way down towards the Beckett's corner. And now towards that Chapel corner. Brad Yeager through the Vale into turn number 17 he goes. It'll be lap 23. 4 laps will remain once he makes his way towards that club turn. Actually, I was a little bit ahead of myself. He's just now getting through the Beckett's and towards the Chapel turn. Got some shout outs tonight for Jerome, some of the fans out there in YouTube. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network as we watch Brad Yeager make his way through the Vale turn, now into turn number 17. He'll be going towards that club turn and into lap number 23. Oh, he's going to go down for a splash and go. This is your race leader heading into pit road, folks. Eric Yeager now towards the club turn will not be in the pits. We'll have to see how this will play out, as now the number 88 car will take over the race lead. 5 laps remaining. The warning there up on the left as the 88 of Eric Yeager makes his way into the farm corners. And a little bit of smoke down pit road for your race leader at the time, Brad Yeager. Getting that splash and go, making his way back off of pit road. Here comes some of the other drivers making their way through the track. Jerome Burchome now making his way down pit road. Got a shout out for Perez out there as well. And again, folks, didn't mention it earlier, do apologize, but tonight's race is sponsored by GP Legacy. Get a chance, check them out on the web, gplegacy.com. Precision Racing League, always proud to have GP Legacy on board to sponsor this iRacing Intermediate Championship Series with the Formula Renault 2.0 cars. So Eric Yeager has taken over the race lead with just under 5 laps remaining. Slowing up through the Beckett's down towards the Chapel. Will make his way towards that Vale turn. Very, very tight turn here, folks. They have to slow way down. As you see, down to second gear, he almost was around 60 miles an hour. Through turn number 17, you can see 77.84. As he rockets up towards 100 miles an hour. Past pit road. And he'll go around lap traffic here into lap number 24. So we got 4 laps remaining. John Unsby now works his way, still on lap 23, into that Vale corner, that very tight, tough corner. Into the 17th turn before club turn. Brad Yeager now takes over second position. It's going to be tough, folks. He is 16.7 seconds behind Eric. And with just under 4 laps remaining, time's running out here for that 18 car. Mike North making his way through the turn. Into that straightaway he goes. Currently sitting in your top 5 in 5th position. And now here comes the drama, folks. With just about 3 laps remaining once he crosses that start-finish line in the pits, your race leader, Eric Yeager, now goes in for a final pit stop. Brad Yeager making his way into the club turn. Let's see what happens here. Eric Yeager with a splash. Now he gets to pit road, a little bit of smoke. And around comes Brad Yeager, regaining that race lead. This may have just solidified it with that late pit stop from Eric. Brad Yeager able to take over the race lead as he works his way through the loop. Into that Wellington straight he goes. Now has a 6.2 second lead over that 88 car of Eric Yeager. Yeager passing lap traffic. Burchome now in 3rd position. So it'll be 2 laps to go here for the 18 of Brad Yeager. As we take a look at our time remaining up in your top left, folks, that he has just under 6 minutes to do it. Very possible to get this full race in under the time limit. As if anything goes flawless, it's just under 3 minutes. He should be able to get it. Just maybe a little bit over 3 minutes. Now through that club turn comes the 18 of Brad Yeager into the front straightaway. Lap 26, we have 2 laps remaining. Has a total of just about 5 minutes as the clock winds down. Should be able to get this full race in under the time limit. Seeing LaBeouf having some issues back there in 9th, falls to 10th position as JP Foster goes around. Foster's going to go around Mike North. A good battle here as they make their way through the Beckett's towards that Chapel straightaway into that Chapel turn. So Foster solid in 8th position. Mike North and John LaBeouf now battle it out. North in the black Renault, as LaBeouf currently sitting in that 911 machine in 10th position, making their way through that tight veiled turn. Up coming to that club turn. Very good battle going on here. And Perez spinning. Oh, Perez, the 41 car, spins before the club turn. Will fall back as LaBeouf and North goes around him. So Perez into the Abbey turn will fall back about 5.4 seconds behind the 911 of John LaBeouf, as LaBeouf and North battle it out towards that Wellington straight. Coming out of turn 5. Into the Wellington straight they go towards the Brooklands corner. This is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. The white flag has been waved. Brad Yeager. He is making his way around the track for the final time tonight. Two pit stops here for the 18 car. Kudos has got to go to the 911 of LaBeouf, as he's the only driver tonight that has taken one pit stop and has been able to hold on as long as he has. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Brad Yeager making his final way around the track. as he comes down towards the Beckett's. Through the chicane, in through the Beckett's, he goes down towards the Chapel curve. Just a few more turns for this car, this 18 car. Makes his way to that Vale turn. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be coming around the corner. Club corner just ahead after this turn. And here he comes into the final turn. Ladies and gentlemen, the checkered flag is in the air, and your winner here tonight, the number 18 of Brad Yeager, takes the checkered flag here at Silverstone. A little bit of woozy coming off club corner. Eric Yeager into second position. Jerome Berchone now makes his way through towards that club corner to finish in a third position. And Berchome now takes the start-finish line, so he will finish third. John Unsby, this is your fourth position driver towards that Vale turn. It's got a nice little gap between him and Reno Ambrosi. Ambrosi looking to be in the top 5 tonight, but here comes Unsby into turn number 17. Towards that club final turn for the 61 of John Unsby into the final straightaway. He finishes fourth here tonight. Into turn number 17 goes Remo Ambrosi. Towards the club turn, just ahead of JP Foster. Around that final club turn into the straightaway, Remo Ambrosi finishes the top 5 in a nice little battle here. Foster able to hold off LaBeouf. LaBeouf able to hold off North. That's 7 and 8. And Chris Perez tonight finishing in 9th position. Rounding out your top 10, here comes Sergio Bustamante. He will finish 10th position. Karsten Quint and Danny Duchesne, will finish 11th and 12th. Rolf Just making his way through that final lap. As he goes through the turn. Down towards the Beckett's goes Just. Through that Chapel turn here for the 43 car. Making his way towards the Vale turn, Rolf Just. Turn number 17 of the final lap here for the 43 car. And he's not even going to take the club turn. He's just going straight for pit road. So that will be the remaining drivers out on the field. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's results. So after 27 laps, Brad Yeager able to come home with the victory. Eric Yeager in second, just about 4.2 seconds off your race leader. Jerome Berchome will finish out third position. John Unsby fourth, and rounding out your top 5, Remo Ambrosi with a good hard-fought battle tonight. Looked really solid. Going to go move now to get a driver interview here with Brad Yeager.
Hey man, could
Tonight's
be.
winner, we're going to bring him into the booth here. The number 18 car of Brad Yeager joins us after a hard-fought battle here tonight. You found yourself just out, pretty much leading all the race here tonight, Brad. As you were coming down to pit road, Eric Yeager took over the race lead at that point. Tell us a little bit about those final few laps to get back that race lead. Did you know that he was going to have to make a final pit stop, or were you banking on that at that point in time?
Yeah, I knew that he was going to have to make one more stop, just kind of based on the strategies and the fuel load that we're able to carry for the race. So, at that point, I knew he was definitely closing down on me, and that gap was getting smaller and smaller each and every lap. But it was just, it was down to that deal where, you got a certain amount of laps left, and you just got to kind of control the pace and bring her home.
And you're able to do that here tonight, so congratulations on taking the victory here in the first race of the iRacing Intermediate Championship Series at Silverstone. Is there any shout-out you'd like to give for your victory?
Definitely shout out to my brother in second place, Eric, and of course the entire podium. Also to my teammate Remo at Rock and Roll Racing, and this is a good way to get the season started.
Well, took a gamble there with Eric being your brother, so I guess I get a +1 for that one tonight. But Brad, congratulations again. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. We take on another course.
Hey, I appreciate it. You have a good one.
We're going to go live now to Brother Yeager, Eric Yeager, finishing second position, just about 4 seconds behind his brother, the 88 car. Found his way to leading a few laps here tonight. Eric, you worked your way through this track, got up to the race lead. It came down to that final pit stop that allowed your brother to get back around you. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it was kind of difficult, working my way back up after the early spin, but, I started making my way and made up some spots on my first pit stop, and then was kind of hoping he would have something go wrong on the second one, but he didn't put a foot wrong this race and came out with the win.
And you're able to hold on and get second. Looked a little bit loose coming out of that final club turn number 18. Were you just trying to get a good time, or was it just nerves there at that point?
No, I was just trying to push and see if I could catch him, but I don't know. I think at that point it was too little, too late, and my setup's a little bit loose anyway, so yeah, it just got a little loose.
Well, you're able to finish second. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish here at Silverstone?
I just want to shout out to all the Jabroni squad. Thanks for putting in a good car for us. Both teams brought it home, or both cars brought it home for a good finish for the team.
All right. Well, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next week when the series continues.
Thank you.
We're going to make our way now to Jerome Burchome. If he is available for an interview, we'll see if we can get that guy in here, the 17-car driver, Jerome. See if he can join us here. A little bit of celebration down there. There he is. He joins us now. So Jerome able to finish third position here tonight. 23 seconds behind Brad Yeager. It was a good fought battle. You found yourself throughout the top 5 all night long. Able to reel in a third place finish here at your season opener at Silverstone. Tell us a little bit about your night.
I think I'm quite lucky to get this third place. I got a good start, but I spun 3 times during the race, so maybe I would have challenged for the win or second place without all that spun, but it was a fun race, and the track was pretty cold, so that was pretty hard to get into each corner.
But you're able to hold on and get third position. And a hard-fought battle, well done, though, holding off some of these other drivers like John Unsby. He put a battle up for you for there. You're able to get around him.
Go
ahead, sorry.
Yeah, he put me a lot of pressure on the beginning, but I think he spun a bit on the corner, and then I get a few seconds, so it helps me a lot. But I'm happy with this third place, and it's good for the team. So my teammate Eric Yeager, so to bring the car 2 and 3, so this is pretty good for the team.
Well, we look forward to seeing the series continue next week. Congratulations here tonight at Silverstone, getting your third place finish.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for broadcasting everything. You're doing an excellent job.
I appreciate that. Especially for a first time, it's been pretty difficult. We're going to see if we can get a fourth position, maybe get a top 5 interview. We're going to bring John Unsby into the booth now, see if we can get a little bit of information here from your fourth place finisher tonight, John Unsby in that 61 machine. Able to reel in a fourth place finish, just about 55 seconds off of Brad Yeager. It was a tough night with a cool track. Found yourself battling quite a bit for that fourth position. John, you're able to finish up, though. Tell us a little bit about your night. And doesn't look like we are able to get him, so we'll see if we can bring in Remo. Remo, one of these drivers here tonight, finishes in the top 5. 63 car, hard-fought battle, spinning a couple of times. You had a good battle there for a while with Chris Perez, but it looks like you were able to get around him, and still, Perez spins there into the club turn, that 18th turn right with a couple laps remaining. Tell us a little bit about those final few laps here for the 63 machine, Remo.
Look, it was a tough race. I had a few problems throughout the race. I tapped JP Foster, and I don't know. It's one of those hard calls sometimes. You know, I think I went down to about 13th, and coming back to 5th is just amazing. It was because a couple of other guys made a few mistakes, but you know, overall, good race.
All right. Any final shout-outs you'd like to give for your 5th place finish here in the season opener at Silverstone?
Mate, to all the guys that were racing today, excellent job, boys. Everyone performed brilliantly. Thank you.
All right. We look forward to seeing you next week as the series continues.
Thank you.
Well, that will look like it'll wrap it up here, folks. A historic night here for the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, being able to broadcast the Precision Racing League and their Formula Renault 2.0 Intermediate Championship Series. What a race it was. Results have been on the screen for you there, so if you have a favorite driver, make sure you get in YouTube chat, give them a shout out. These guys, letting them know that they have a nice little fan base out there. Saw some shout outs tonight for Chris Perez, Jerome Bertram, and seeing a little bit of people upset with that late race spin from Chris Perez. But the series will continue next Thursday night here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. Definitely, if you haven't done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You can catch us live 6 nights a week now, as we will be back with the Precision Racing League on Sunday night at Daytona, covering their Truck Oval Series. Coming up tomorrow night, we have the Interleague Championship Racing Series. It's 4 different leagues going to be battling it out as they go to Talladega in the Gen 6 cars. Monday night, coming up after we do the Sunday night with Precision Racing League, will be the Sim Racing, or the Short Track National Showdown Street Stock Series. Coming off of a good race at Phoenix, these boys will continue that bumping and banging Street Stock Series. But that will look like it'll do it for us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night.